ओके, हॅलो, नमस्कार. मी आज मराठीमध्ये चालू करते आहे. कोणाला जर मराठी समजत नसेल तर चॅट बॉक्समध्ये सांगा, म्हणजे आपण इंग्लिशमध्ये स्विच करू शकू. तर जसं की आपल्याला माहिती आहे सगळ्यांना, की हे वेबिनार्स दर बुधवारी पुणे रिव्हर रिवायवल तर्फे घेतले जातात. हा बऱ्याच व्यक्ती आणि संस्थांचा समूह आहे, जो मुख्यतः पुण्यातल्या नद्यांसाठी काम करतो. नद्या स्वच्छ, नैसर्गिक असाव्यात, प्रदूषणमुक्त असाव्यात आणि जिवंत असाव्यात. त्याच्या काठावरचा झाडझुडपा सुरक्षित असावा आणि बाकी जैवविविधता जपली जावी, असा ह्याच्यामागचा मुख्य उद्देश आहे. तर आजचा जो वेबिनार आहे त्याचं कारण असं आहे, की राम नदी आणि मुळा नदी यांचा संगम जिथे होतो तिथे सध्या वेगाने काम चालू झालेलं आहे आणि तिथं बांधकाम कन्स्ट्रक्शन होणार आहे आणि ते आर-एफ-डीज म्हणजे रिव्हर फ्रंट डेव्हलपमेंट म्हणजे नदीकाठ सुशोभीकरणासाठी होणार आहे. तर गेल्या 2 आठवड्यामध्ये झपाट्याने हे काम अतिशय जोरदार वेगात सुरू झालेलं आहे. तर मी तुम्हाला आधी कसं दिसत होतं किंवा अजूनही बराचसा भाग कसा आहे आणि काम सुरू झालाय तो भाग कसा आहे, हे दोन्ही दाखवणार आहे. तर मी स्क्रीन शेअर करून व्हिडिओज दाखवते. पहिलं म्हणजे आधीचं घेतलेलं फुटेज आहे. ते मी दाखवते. तुम्हाला दिसेल की जी डाव्या बाजूला आहे, लेफ्ट हँड साइड, ती राम नदी आहे आणि उजवीकडची आहे ती मुळा नदी आहे. आणि आता जर तुम्ही बघाल तर राम नदी आणि मुळा नदी यांच्या संगमाच्या जवळ म्हणजे त्या दोन्ही नद्यांच्या मध्ये अशी घनदाट झाडी आहे, की ही झाडी पुण्यामध्ये आहे आणि पुण्याच्या शहरात मध्यवर्ती भागात आहे. हे सांगितलं तरी खरं वाटणार नाही. कारण आपण हे पाहिलेलं नसतं. त्यामुळे आपल्याला जाणीव नसते, की पुण्यामध्ये काय प्रकारे अ, जैवविविधता आणि जुनी झाडं आहेत आणि आपण काय जपायला पाहिजे, म्हणजे आपली संपत्ती काय आहे, ह्याचीच आपल्याला कल्पना नसल्यामुळे ते जपण्यासाठी बरेचसे लोक पुढे येत नाहीत. तर असंच अजून हे पुढे आहे, ही मुळा नदी आहे. अ, याचा जास्त वेळ न घेता मी तुम्हाला आता जे काम चालू झालंय आणि त्यामुळे मुळेच्या किनाऱ्यावर काय चालू आहे ते दाखवते. हे गेल्या आठवड्यामधलंच काम आहे आणि किती वेगाने चालू आहे आणि किती वेगाने तो सगळा किनारा साफ केलाय. तिथे एक हिरवा कणही दिसत नाहीये. ते तुम्हाला दिसेल. ते काम चालू आहे. हे फुटेज घेताना पण तिकडे चालू आहे. जे-सी-बीज आहेत, ट्रॅक्टर्स आहेत, ट्रक्स आहेत आणि अजून एक दिसेल पाण्यामध्ये माती आलेली दिसते. हा दिसतोय पाण्यामध्ये मातीचा भराव आहे. म्हणजे नदीची रुंदी कमी होतीये. पाण्यामध्ये माती टाकली जाते. आता अजून इकडचं शिल्लक आहे. हे शिल्लक आहे. पण हे कधीही जाईल. हे काम असं पुढे सरकलं, की हे सगळे तर हे तर नदीमध्ये आलेलं वाळुंजाचं झाड आहे, म्हणजे जे फक्त नदीकाठीच येतं. तर हे सगळंच्या सगळं आता हे पहा इथे हिरवं दिसतंय. हे सगळं साफ होणार आहे. तर आता मी माझा हा स्टॉप करते. तर या ठिकाणी म्हणजे राम नदी आणि मुळा नदीच्या जो संगम होतो तिथे जीवित नदीचे कार्यकर्ते गेले कित्येक वर्ष काम करतायत. तर आपण आधी त्यांचे अनुभव ऐकूया आणि मग आपण पुढे जाऊया. तर आरती, तू आधी बोलणार आहेस?
हो.
बोल.
नमस्कार. मी आरती म्हस्कर. गेले 2017 पासून मुळा-रामवरती काम करत आहे. मी 1 तास नदीला द्यायचा ह्या हिशोबामध्ये काम सुरू केलं. माझं क्लिनिंगमध्ये खूप नव्हतं योगदान, पण मी डॉक्युमेंटेशन म्हणजे झाडाचं असेल किंवा मातीची क्वालिटी, पाण्याची क्वालिटी, पाणी, स्ट्रीम्स ह्या सगळ्या कुठनं येतात, झाडावरती अवलंबून असलेले पक्षी, प्राणी, मोलस्क काही आहेत आपल्या इथे, त्याच्यावरती माझं जास्त काम चालतं. आणि मी इथे बघितलेली जैवविविधता जी म्हणजे नदीची स्वतःची एक वेगळी जैवविविधता असते, हे मला जीवित नदीला मी जेव्हा जॉईन झाले तेव्हा समजलं, की पाण्याच्या ठिकाणची झाडं आणि झाडोरा हा वेगळा असतो दॅन तुमच्या लँडचा. त्यामुळे पाण्याच्या इथली पाणथळ जागेतली जी झाडं असतात ती वेगळी असतात किंवा झाडोरा असतो तो वेगळा असतो. तो आपल्याला प्रोटेक्ट करायला पाहिजे, कारण की ते स्पॉन्जेस असतात बेसिकली. जसं आता प्राजक्तानी आपल्याला सांगितलं, की वाळुंज. वाळुंज हा सर्वात एकमेव असा झाड आहे, की त्याला फक्त पाणी नदीचंच लागतं, स्वच्छच लागतं आणि वाहतं लागतं. तर म्हणजे आपण जेव्हा डायनोसॉर्स गेलेले आहेत, "अरे रे! डायनोसॉर्स गेले," असं जेव्हा म्हणतो किंवा "अरे, काँगो व्हॅलीचा आपण विचार करतो, Amazon व्हॅलीचा विचार करतो." पण आपण आपल्या मुळामुठेचाच विचार करत नाही आहोत. आपण आपल्या आपली विविधता कशी जोपासता येईल ह्याचा आपण विचार करत नाही आहोत. तर त्याच्या ह्यानी माझं काम सुरू झालं, की हो खरंच आपल्याला किती जपता येईल. आता जसं प्राजक्तानी दाखवलं आपल्याला ह्याच्यामध्ये दृश्यामध्ये आपण बघितलं, की डायरेक्टली रेझर मारला जातो. म्हणजे पी-एम-सी येतंय आणि डायरेक्टली त्याला सगळी झाडं नाहीशी करून टाकतायत. ते न करता आमचं एवढंच म्हणणं प्रत्येक वेळेला होतं, की एकदम असा न विचार करून करण्यापेक्षा काहीतरी आपण जोपासता येईल का? आपण तीही हेरिटेज दाखवू शकू का? तेही आपलं दाखवू शकू का? स्पॉन्जेस कसे आहेत ते दाखवू शकू का? ह्याचा विचार खूप करत होतो आम्ही. आणि ते एका दिवसात असं गेलं. 17 पासनं आत्तापर्यंत आपण काम केलेलं असतं म्हणजे ते जवळ आपलं बाळ झालेलं असतं. आणि ते एकदम असं त्याच्यावरती हल्लाबोल सारखं होतं. तेव्हा खूप त्रासदायक होतं. त्यामुळे प्रत्येकाला सांगण्यासारखं असतं, की अरे खूप छान आपल्याला मेंटेन करता येईल ती आहे तशी. शिवाय डेव्हलपमेंट धरून. डेव्हलपमेंट ही हवीच आहे. का नको? डेव्हलपमेंट ही असायलाच हवी. आपण प्रगती केलीच पाहिजे. पण जरा विचार करून करावी. तर वाळुंजासारखी आहेत. नंतर तिथे याची करंजाचं बन आहे. म्हणजे आणि बन म्हणजे मी बनच म्हणते, कारण की एक झाड असतं, ते खरंच 1000 बिया जेव्हा टाकतं, तेव्हा प्रत्येक 1000 बी ती रुजलेली आहे तिथे. आणि आजची ही गोष्ट नाहीये, अनेक वर्षांची गोष्ट आहे. आम्ही रिव्हर वॉक, जीवित नदीचा रिव्हर वॉक ज्यांनी कोणी घेतलेला आहे, त्यांना माहितीच आहे, की ही कोट्यावधी वर्षांची वाहिलेली नदी आहे. त्यामुळे 100 वर्ष 200 वर्षापूर्वीची झाडं नक्कीच आहेत आणि अजूनही रुजतायत ती तिथे. त्यामुळे त्याचा थोडासा आपल्याला विचार हा करायलाच लागणार आहे. कारण काय तिथे तर निलगिरीचं झाड आहे. निलगिरीच्या झाडांवरती फ्लाइंग फॉक्स नावाचं बॅट जो ज्याच्यामुळे आपण म्हटलं होतं, की कोरोनाचं पॉसिबिलिटी आहे, की व्हायरस आला असेल बॅट्समधनं. तर आता विचार करा तुम्ही, असं बन जर का ह्याचं निलगिरीचं तोडलं गेलं आज, तर हे बॅग्स कुठे जाणार आहेत? त्याचं पार्किंग लॉट त्याचा ठरवला गेला आहे का? का ठरवायला पाहिजे का आपण? तो आपण जपला पाहिजे का? कारण की ते आपल्या इथे येणार आहेत. आपल्याला प्रत्येक वेळेला डॉग्स दिसतात, आपण लगेच त्याच्यावरती विचार करायला लागतो. आता हे बॅग्स त्याच्यामध्ये आले. आपल्याकडे कबुतरं आलेलीच आहेत. म्हणजे एअरबोर्न डिसीजेस जे येतील, वॉटरबोर्न डिसीजेस जे येतील, त्याला आपल्याला कुठेतरी थांबवायला लागणार आहे. वाळुंज म्हणजे पक्ष्यांसाठी आणि ह्याच्यासाठी तर खूप चांगलं झाड आहे. नंतर पान जांभूळ, जांभळामध्ये आपल्याला 2 प्रकार आहेत माहिती आहेत का? साधं आपण जे जांभूळ खातो, ते कल्टिव्हेट केलेलं जांभूळ आहे. पण पान जांभूळ हे पाणथळ ठिकाणीच येतंय. ते नदीच्या कडेलाच तुम्हाला मिळणार. ते आपल्याला बन इथे बघायला मिळतं. ते बन सरकार सांगतं इथे बन नव्हतंच, पण आम्ही डॉक्युमेंट केलेलं आहे. तर ती बनं गेल्यावरती स्पॉन्जिंग कुठे होणार? पाणी कुठे झिरपणार? ह्याचा कुठे उल्लेख केला गेलाय का? किंवा विचार केला गेलाय का? फायकस हेटेरोफायला, फायकसचे तर आपल्या इथे 3 दिसतात फायकसचे. म्हणजे आपला काळा उंबर किंवा ढेड उंबर ज्याला म्हणतात, किंवा आपल्याला दत्त उंबर. दत्त उंबर म्हणजे जी उंबराची त्याची ही फ्रुट्स पण खाल्ले जातात. फ्रूट बॅट्स खातात, किंवा आपला पक्षी जो आहे, आता संजीव सांगेलच पक्ष्यांबरोबर, तर ते खाणारे तिथे आहेत. नंतर स्पायकस हेटेरोफायला म्हणजे क्रीपिंग उंबर, क्रीपिंग फिग असं त्याला म्हटलं जातं. ते पाणथळ ठिकाणी येणारं झाड आहे. पाणपोई म्हणून एक झाड आहे, त्याचं बन होतं तिथे. छोटी छोटी ही झाडं आहेत, पण ती आज इतकं मोठं काम करतायत आणि बरेच वर्ष करतायत, तर त्याला आपण जोपासलं पाहिजे असं माझं अगदी प्रामाणिक मत आहे. आणि त्यांनी विचार करावा सरकारनी, आणि आपण हातभार लावून सरकारला मदत हवी असलेली जी काय मदत हवी असेल ती आपल्याला करायला पाहिजे. एवढंच माझं म्हणणं आहे. थँक सो मच.
Thanks, Arti. Sanjeev, do you want to talk about your experiences briefly?
Yeah. So thank you. First of all, very happy New Year to all of the participants who have come. I know it's a start of a new year. People will have their own plans, but you have found the time because I think you realize this is a very important thing. And unfortunately, it's not going to be a very happy New Year for most of us because of the way the events are happening near the river. So one thing is like Prajakta has already mentioned, and even Aarti has highlighted. So this is a very beautiful place which a lot of people are unaware of within even the vicinity of that areas like on Baner and Balewadi. And when we were first introduced to this, we were like wondering how come such a beautiful forest lies in the heart of the city and nobody even is aware of that. So it is such a beautiful place, and we have had so many, we hold so many nature walks for different communities, whether it is schools, corporates, normal citizens, and all of us who are doing it are normal citizens. We are not really experts. So we just are conscious, responsible citizens who want a better city, who want a lovely city, and this is right in our laps. And of course we also know the problems which are happening all around these rivers, and we are trying our level best to see how that can be avoided with vigilance. So we do cleaning activities, we introduce people to the ecosystems of the river, we hold a different type of events like music events. Beautiful music events have been held on the banks of the river. We hold biodiversity walks, bird walks. So all this is readily available, for whatever a normal developed city or community needs is already available, given by nature. And today, when we are seeing the destruction of this, it is very painful because we are losing such a beautiful natural heritage. Not just natural heritage, a lot of cultural aspects of these places too. How different communities, like whether the shepherd community, whether the fisherman community, the farming community, have been utilizing these areas, and of course they are also getting impacted due to all these changes. She already mentioned about biodiversity. Maybe for many people this might not be high on their list, but like birds and all sorts of trees, bats. So we have actually counted 100 species of birds, and actually it's a hot biodiversity spot of Pune, which many people are not aware. And a lot of butterflies, other creatures who are living very happily and peacefully out here, and all that is going to get disturbed. It has got disturbed earlier also due to various reasons, mostly human activities. People come and do a lot of things which are not really needed there, including mining of sand, and a lot of illegal activities have been happening there. But one of the other things which, again, leaving aside maybe this biodiversity, beautification, beautiful spot, I think it is also been uh, ensuring that whatever heavy rainfall comes or floods come, it is actually absorbing all that water and making sure it doesn't come and hit the nearby societies. And also, actually, there are springs in this area which we have found out, and that is also getting rejuvenated by all the different sources of water. All that is going to get disturbed and impacted without irreversibly, when we are going to do something which is going to stop the flow of the river, which is going to barricade the flow of water on either sides. And of course, the trees which are like, living legends on this river bank are also going to get affected a lot. So we actually this session today is to give you an idea of what exactly is a problem project has already shown. We would like you to come on this place because we really don't want to describe a lot here. It is only when we see from our eyes that we know what is the destruction. Otherwise, a lot of things are shown in paper. They look beautiful. We might show something which is bad, but only when you come onto the site and see, you decide for yourself whether this is what we want to preserve or this is what we want to lose, and we'll go ahead with that. So there's a lot of other things to talk about, but I will just stop here because I would like to talk more when you come to the site.
Sure. So thanks, Sanjeev. Basically, I just want to let everybody know that we meet there every Sunday mornings. And we have been meeting at 8 o'clock, but we can do it a little later, say at 9 o'clock, so that more people can join us. So do join us on Sundays at 9 o'clock. Any Sunday is fine. Now I'll hand this over to Priyadarshini to discuss the impacts of these changes that are happening at the alarming rate.
Okay. So I just put down a few points in Marathi, and so that I can speak in English, but still everybody will understand. So let me just share my screen. Okay. So basically, I think we have to realize that apart from the visual destruction that you saw in the video, and you heard about the pain of people who have been trying their best to preserve a pristine riparian forest in the middle of the city. We also have to realize that this entire project over the entire 44 kilometers of the Mula-Mutha and Mula-Mutha is a dangerous project for Pune city. Just a few points that I want to highlight here. If you can recall what you saw in the video, uh, you may have seen, many of you may have just looked down on from the bridges as you cross the bridges over the rivers within the heart of the city, and then you see all the solid waste and the drainage water flowing and so on, and you have this some vague notion in your mind that this needs to change, and therefore you may have welcomed the project when it was announced, and by the way, it was originally announced by Pune Municipal Corporation as a riverfront development project. Then suddenly they started calling it a river rejuvenation project, and now that they are claiming that they have got environment clearance, and again they are calling it riverfront development project. Even when they were calling it river rejuvenation project, that was only the cover page of the DPR. Inside the DPR, everywhere it was basically a riverfront development project. So that is also something that I want to highlight here, that there is some shenanigans that are going on there. But coming back to this point here, that why am I calling this a dangerous project? So we have to realize that this project is going to increase the risk of flooding. It is going to increase water scarcity in some parts of the city, and it is also going to increase our exposure to diseases. As far as the flooding is concerned, firstly, we are experiencing this since the last few years, that because of climate change, the rain pattern across the Pune region has been changing. And every monsoon we are seeing more and more episodes where there is very heavy rainfall or cloud burst that is happening. So overall in India, the trend of monsoon is that the total rainfall is slightly increasing or decreasing in different parts, but the number of days of rain are reducing, which means that when it rains, it is going to rain very, very heavily. So that's one important thing. uh, this project has been planned on the basis of past rainfall data. The future rainfall, there are going to be episodes of very heavy rainfall. The dam water will have to be released and it will be raining at the same time. The Pune city has a saucer shape kind of hills surrounding it, so water is going to cascade down from everywhere. The DPR of the project clearly states that flood regulation is not the objective of this project. The DPR is available on PRR website. You can go and check it out. So the project is not claiming to be something which is meant for flood control. Pune Municipal Corporation, however, is claiming that this project is going to control flooding in the city. When walls are constructed around the riverbed, the logic that they are projecting is that, look, we are constructing walls and therefore more water will be held in the river bank. However, rain doesn't fall in the river, rain falls everywhere. So, what about the water that comes from the hills and tries to come towards the river within the city? If there are walls, that water is going to be blocked, and therefore there is going to be sort of piling up of water in the city. That is as simple as this thing. Also, the river meanders are going to be removed. It is going to be a straight channel. So whatever water that will come through the river, that is going to cascade down at a very high speed. The volume is going to be much more than ever seen in the past. The walls also may collapse. And as the speed increases, what is going to happen when the walls end? There the flooding is going to happen, and very devastatingly. So it's important to understand some very basic science to see the fallacies of some of these arguments. Also, there is a proof, and maybe we can have a webinar to describe this a bit more in detail, or people can visit the site. But the site itself, where Mula and Ram rivers are coming together, the efforts that Aarti and Sanjeev described, through the efforts of these volunteers, parts of the river were restored to their original form, the river and the river banks. And it so happens that because of that, actually flood control has been achieved as a byproduct. This is something which I think is a good topic to take up for one of the future webinars. Why water scarcity? The entire 44 kilometers of river bank is going to be cemented. You may have seen the work that has already been completed. What you do not realize is that there is a plastic fabric which separates the basic actual soil, natural soil, with whatever structure that has been built above. And then on top of that, some lawns and trees have been planted, but that is just implanting sort of on top of a cement platform. So basically, the river banks are getting cemented, which is going to block a lot of natural springs which are there, bringing water into the river, and that will also reduce the refilling of the aquifers, and all of that is going to have impacts on the groundwater, both the bore wells as well as wells and many parts. And it so happens that the river is actually flowing through many of these parts which are already facing water scarcity. Municipal corporation is not able to supply water. People are relying on bore wells and tankers. But you know what can happen if you are getting water with tanker, if you are following news in the last few days. The bigger concern actually, which doesn't get talked about enough, is the possibility of increase or exposure to health issues. we have to realize that in spite of what the Pune Municipal Corporation is claiming, the riverfront development project, um, treatment plant project, which is also called the JICA project, which is with loan from Japan government. These are two independent projects. The riverfront development project conveniently assumes that the JICA project is going to be successfully completed in time and 100% clean water will come into the riverbed. But the JICA project has been delayed. Its capacity is much less than the amount of sewage water that is going to be generated. All of this has been studied and proven, which means that we will continue to get sewage water, untreated sewage water into the riverbed. And the riverfront development project is planning to block this water at different places so that people coming to walk on the river, this constructed riverfront, will be able to see some water. That's the overall idea. But if it is going to be sewage water, this is just going to create a bad odor. It is going to be breeding ground for mosquitoes and other insects. Malaria, chikungunya, these are already increasing in the city for various reasons that will keep on sort of accelerating. And as an important point that Aarti mentioned, some of the areas where creatures like bats and other animals, insects, are now being able to stay away from human settlements. If we destroy their habitats, then they are going to come into the river human settlement, which can create new diseases. One point which I want to highlight here: many people have this question that we have seen in the news that this project has now got environment clearance. Firstly, we have to realize that this kind of a project, which you saw in the videos, that there is a existing natural forest on the riverside. Removing that and replacing it with cement, this kind of a project should not get any kind of environment clearance. The only way it can get environment clearance is if the project proponent can prove that whatever ecosystem services are going to be eliminated by this, what the people will gain is far bigger and more than that. But we have not seen any such proofs. The process of getting environment clearance in India in itself is now questionable because it does not take into consideration the effects of climate change, and many other problems are there with the process. A bigger point is that the Pune Municipal Corporation has been misleading the public. Press conferences were taken and it was announced that this project has got environment clearance, but that is not correct. This project has got environment clearance subject to fulfilling certain conditions. What are those conditions? There are several conditions, but the letter which the Pune Municipal Corporation has received from the concerned authority of the state government has clearly stated that the corporation cannot restart the work of the project unless and until all the conditions are fulfilled. There are several conditions, but the important ones are that several studies were expected to be carried out and those reports were to be submitted. I have just listed some of these here: quality of water, the soil analysis, scientific study of impact of this project on biodiversity, scientific study of impact of this project on flow of water, natural flow of water. Now, some of these studies, the municipal corporation does not have people on its payroll who are experts in this, which means that they should ideally have given out a public announcement that we want to hire experts and then appoint those experts, create these reports. None of those processes have happened, at least in the public domain. So these are questions that as a citizen I have for the corporation, that who were the experts that were appointed, when were these reports made, were these reports submitted to the concerned authority, and have those conditions been fulfilled so that the corporation is now planning to restart the work. Because if the conditions have not been fulfilled, then actually the letter clearly says that legal action can be taken against the municipal corporation by the state authority itself if the conditions are not fulfilled. So there is a lot of ambiguity about this entire issue. So these were some of the points that I wanted to highlight and appeal to all citizens to share this information with your friends, family, colleagues, and go to the site. As Sanjeev said, go to the site on Sundays, see with your own eyes what is happening there, and decide for yourself how you are going to deal with this dangerous project. How should we address this issue which is putting our lives and livability of the city at risk? Thank you.
We have actually put forward the problem here, and we have mentioned all the effects it is going to have on our lives and our future. So how you would like to help us out, what you can do, what your ideas are? I would be happy if you can write that in the chat box, and then we can take that for discussions. How you could help? What do you think you could do? How you could be part of this. And if you have any other ideas other than the things that we are already doing, which is the public outreach, and people are going there on site, and some people have also taken the route of filing RTIs, and some people have also gone to the NGT or courts. So where do you think you can contribute, and what else you think we should be doing? If you can put that in the chat, that would be great. Okay, Arjit is asking, has the mainstream media covered this latest RFD on the Baner construction related issue? I did not see. No, not really the mainstream. Yes, some media has covered it, but not the mainstream, not papers like Sakal or Times or Indian Express. I did not see that. So we would be happy if anybody wants to get in touch with the reporters, because I remember I had pinged one or two reporters, like mainstream reporters, when we went to that Ramula confluence like 10 days back on the Sunday. I had actually messaged many reporters to come over there and see. I said that see it yourself and let us know, but they did not come there. So maybe they did not know the gravity of the situation. Okay, so thank you, Arjit. He says he'll approach some of the reporters, and that would be good, because you saw the video, you saw the pictures. So if they come there, they'll of course cover it. So it is very obvious. Can we arrange podcast with? Yes, please. So if you can help us arrange that podcast, or with any RJ. Sangram, I can ask because I know Sangram, and Sangram has really been very cooperative, and he has done a lot for us. But if you can ask other RJs or other reporters or other podcast people, let us know. Shudali is saying the college students. Okay, yes, that is true. We want to know if there is anybody who can volunteer to go to colleges and schools, because we are a very small group, and a few people are running around and doing too many things. So Shunali, if you can conduct sessions in some of the colleges, that would be great. So let us know if you could do that. Okay, if you can do in Ferguson, wonderful. Thank you so much. Tapan says that write articles in the newspapers explaining the issues. Sure, we will do that. I mean, we do that. We do write articles, but again, as I said, we are a small group. So if you want to take this up and write an article, please go ahead. It's not that only we have to write it. So Tapan, I think you can do a wonderful job of writing an article. So if you want to do, please do. If you want to call some of us and say that, for example, Priyadarshini has said this and Shailaja Deshpande said this, that's also fine. That way also it can be written. Yes, I know Arijit wants to speak, and Amit Singh also. I will unmute you a little later. Let's see what other suggestions are. Tapan, great. It would be great if you can write an article. We would be happy. Okay, why don't we do a planned satyagraha? We want to do that, but we don't want to do a satyagraha or any kind of protest with only 100 people or 200 people. We have to really reach out to thousands of people. If we can bring down 5,000, 10,000 people on the road, then that's what we are waiting for. And Ajit Gokhale sir, you and many of us have discussed this before also. But to do that kind of protest, we really have to have a big support group, because we don't want to do it with, just 100, 200 people. Okay, somebody says, I'm a freelance environmental journalist and I would like to write about this. Can you please get in touch? Sure. Okay, I think I will note this down, your email ID, and I would be very happy to get in touch with you. When we will get 500 people? Yes, with 500 people we can do satyagraha. Sir, you want to say that 500 people you can get, then I would be very happy. Priyadarshini, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I think he's asking when we will get 500 people. तर
When we will.
अस-
Oh,
हा.
sorry.
So
Sorry.
असं आहे
No,
की
I thought he
नाही
said
नाही या नो बट
झाल्यावर
आय
करायचं का असं.
नाही पण आता कसं आहे, ह्या वेबिनार मध्ये 43 लोक आहेत. त्या प्रत्येकाने 10-10 माणसं आणली तर आपण 500च्या जवळ येतो. सो दॅट्स द वी आर बेसिकली लुकिंग फॉर अ मल्टिप्लायर इफेक्ट. सो इफ ईच पर्सन कॅन कमिट टू ॲटलीस्ट टॉकिंग to their family, friends, acquaintances, colleagues. Each one of us has a sphere of influence. त्याचा आपण जर उपयोग करून घेऊ शकलो, मग त्याच्यामध्ये सोशल मीडियाचा वापर असेल किंवा प्रत्यक्ष लोकांशी बोलणं असेल, की ज्याच्यातनं जास्तीत जास्त लोकांपर्यंत ही माहिती पोहोचून ते ह्याच्याशी जोडले गेले, तर ही संख्या 500 काय 5,000 पर्यंत सुद्धा जाऊ शकते. पण त्याच्यासाठी प्रत्येकाने थोडं आपल्याला जे वाटतं आहे आणि आपल्याला जे समजतं आहे ते इतरांपर्यंत पोहोचवणं, एवढा आपल्याच सर्कल मधल्या इतरांपर्यंत पोहोचवणं आणि त्यांनाही ह्याच्यामध्ये सहभागी करून घेणं, एवढा तरी एक एफर्ट घेण्याची गरज आहे.
Amit Singh says, if we want 10,000 people to show up, then we have to physically reach to 10 lakh people. That's true. Maybe not 10 lakh, but at least 1 lakh people we need to reach out to. That is true. Ahilya says that meeting or discussion with state level environment minister or any such person of Pune district in presence of media. Yes, that's a good idea. But the thing is that if any one of you can connect us to the minister, if there is a way, would be more than happy to have that meeting. And if they are ready to do in the presence of media, why not? We are ready. I'm not sure whether they will be. Okay. Medha Kulkarni, yes, Medha Kulkarni, we have had a very great feedback. But if you can arrange, if you know Medha Kulkarni, again, it's not just meeting, but if we can get Medha Kulkarni to that Ram-Mula confluence, and if she can see that herself, that is the best thing we can do. So please let us know if we can get Medha Kulkarni to the confluence on any day, not just Sunday. On any day, we would be happy. Okay. Okay, there is Arijit's message is for Siddhant, and then Kapil says that PRR group has 800 plus members. I do not know, Kapil, why out of 800, we always struggle to get even 100 people to the rear. Maybe some people are out of town and some people are part of the group, but they are no longer living in Pune. So that is a problem. Farida can help you frame narrative for your social media. Farida, I will call you and I think we should do that. And if you can make reels or videos, there is nothing like that. That's the best thing. And because Farida makes documentaries, so I think we have a great talent here, because that will really make a great difference. So I think Arjit and Amit Singh, they want to talk. I will just give you two minutes each. Amit, can we unmute Amit Singh first?
Okay, guys, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Amit.
All good, okay. So, we've been trying to work on all the factors with regard to the first phase, which is about 11.5 odd kilometers. And the first thing we did when they were working along the Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary about a year and a half ago is we decided we'll figure out what exactly is the vegetation at risk and the tree cover at risk. So we took a section, a cross section of about 100 meters by 100 meters, and we tried to measure out all the vegetation and the forest area in that. And we found that close to about 1.16 lakh trees were being felled for just the first few phases. That is this 11.5 kilometer um, section which they are doing. Now, these trees aren't just trees, they are an entire ecosystem unto themselves. And a lot of times, what happens is people consider, let's say, wines, for instance, but a wine could be 5 inches thick and it could have taken 300 years to have become what it has become over there. But many times it's considered that, oh, the wine doesn't matter because it's part of the jungle. Like those walloons trees, for instance, they're right there by the river bank and they never grow very tall or very thick. But they take a long time to grow, maybe even 3 inches thick or 4 inches thick, and they try to keep the river cool. So, 1,16,000 trees have been felled. Close to approximately 400 acres has been emptied out, and we are looking at a total damage of about anywhere between 4,64,000 to 5,34,000 trees, which will go once the entire RFD is completed across all 44 square kilometers. Close to 1,546 acres of land will be reclaimed. About 40% of the river banks will be embanked upon, and about 5.5 crore tons of debris will be poured into the river. About 2.5 crore tons of concrete will be poured into the river, and the river will die. That's more or less the consequence of whatever is going on. Now, the bigger implication of this is, like Priyadarshini already mentioned, that the rain doesn't fall only in the river or on the hills, it also falls in the surrounds. So the rain falls equally on your head and my head and everywhere else. So this year we have already had flooding incidents upstream, like in Siagarh Road and some parts of Kothrood. We've had flooding incidents happen in Yaroda Jail. We've had flooding incidents happen in various places which otherwise would have otherwise drained out into the river. This is happening because at many places the level of the land or the lay of the geomorphology is more or less equal or below the new raised banks of the river. So, approximately in some places they're planning to raise the banks of the river by 20 feet, and in some places they're planning to raise the banks of the river by 40 feet. Unfortunately, a whole lot of people don't seem to understand that building these walls will only ensure that you are creating artificial barrages which will flood Pune otherwise, or maybe all of Pune will have to be raised to the level or above the level of this crazy RFD. So these are the tentative or rather numbers which I can give you as of now, or whatever has been the results of my research and my study. These 1,16,000 trees, if you average it out amongst the amount of space that has been reclaimed, it's about 100 square feet to a tree. It's not really too much. As in, it's not the dense forest kind of a circumstance. It's quite a free flowing thing. And if this goes through, then we are looking at dire circumstances because climate change hasn't been taken into account for any of these projects. We don't have a single road which is world class. We don't have a bus service which we can proudly claim and say we have great public transportation. We don't have a garbage clearance mechanism which ensures that we don't have to see garbage visibly anywhere. We have an air pollution problem because of excessive traffic, excessive construction, excessive crowding, what have you. We don't have a single thing that works, whether it's electricity, telephone lines, internet. Nothing works uninterrupted, or you can say seamlessly. So, as a city and as a country, we are a complete engineering failure. And yet we want to import technology out of the 1970s and 60s from the West. And while they are actually breaking down all the walls and allowing their river free space and giving their the land back to the river in a manner of speaking, so that they don't experience these issues with urban flooding, or for that matter, they're building spawn cities where they are ensuring that their air pollution, I mean, there the AQI is single digits most places, because they've succeeded in figuring out how they can reverse this process of using these miracle materials like concrete and plastic and glass and steel and what have you, to ensure that their cities actually begin breathing again. So, in case you did not know, if you lay out a sheet of concrete over some soil or some land and build a road or whatever it is you're doing, building, the soil below the concrete cannot breathe. After that, it's as good as a desert. So this has various impacts. It regenerates heat, and the heat impact can go up by as much as 8 to 10 degrees over and above your regular temperature. The soil moisture can go to almost nothing, because the water runoff, once there is a concrete covering the soil, is almost next to unity. So, which means that zero drops of water get absorbed by wherever you have covered the soil or earth with concrete. And unfortunately, we have a situation where our kids are living in concrete, they live in concrete houses, they travel on concrete roads, they go to concrete buildings in which they school or go to college or to work, and then they come back home, and then maybe an ant bites them or a bee bites them, and
Amit,
then they have to go to hospital and take an anti-allergen.
Amit,
So this is not a healthy society. Yeah, I know, I'm finishing. So this is not a healthy society, and if we want to not suffer from autoimmune disorders and not go crazy about what our future really holds, and not have Pune becoming a 50-degree centigrade normal city, then perhaps the first thing we need to do is save our river, and with it our forests, and with it our tigris, and with it our environment and ourselves. Thank you.
thank you. It's true, and that is why we have to reach out to maximum people as we can, and we can see how many people we can get for a protest or a satyagraha. There was this question that why this PCMC patch, which is Mula, got included. It was always there. It was always 44 kilometers, and both the sides, if you include, it was always there for 88 kilometers, right from the first DPR. And Priyadarshini, I think, has answered that, saying the work currently happening is actually by PCMC on the opposite back of PMC side. But PMC has announced in media that they will also start soon on this side. The justification given is that now we have environment clearance, right? That is the justification. Arjit, do you want to say, I think, anything in just 2 minutes? We can unmute you, and then we will, if you have anything, anybody has any suggestion, I would like to have any suggestion, or like Shunali said or Farida said, how you could help us out, how you could contribute. I would be more interested in that, because we all are aware of the situation. So please, if you can focus on the solution part, I would be very happy. Amit,
Hi, Arjit. I have unmuted you. I mean, I have asked to unmute. You can unmute and speak.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, I had not seen some of the group messages earlier, but from what I saw, like Ecological Society report, which they had made for the RFD recommendations, which was after the initial DPR, that their initial first sites started from the Varze area, uh, but this Ramura confluence thing is what they have started working on now. But you are saying like even in the DPR, RAM was already there, is it? I think Priyasani said that. So just wanted to know about that. And
So
also,
Arjit, I think you are confusing. The ecological society study was, in fact, what you are saying, but that is not the DPR of the RFD. RFD
no, that I
DPR
know,
has
yes.
been made by another agency, and it is entirely for 44 kilometers, including Mula Mutha and beyond the confluence of Mula Mutha. So the work on Mula has started, which has started at the Ram Mula confluence. So they are going
Okay,
in
okay.
phases. They can't start everywhere at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Okay, okay, understood. So okay, I will see if anybody can at least spread more awareness about it from the media, and also see if I can contribute as some article myself.
That
But
that
actually,
would
this
be
is a very,
wonderful. So
very
basically,
good
what we are
category.
looking for, just to recap, is that if you can share on your own social media handles, you can talk to your friends, families, and acquaintances in your housing society, in your offices. That would be great. That is number one. Number two is, if you know any of the influencers or decision makers, whether they are politicians or whether they are some influencer on social media, or whether they are celebrities like actors, let us know, so that you can connect us with them, and then maybe they can help us to reach out more people. So that is the second thing. Please do visit us, visit the confluence with us on Sundays. And if all these things, I mean, everybody is working voluntarily, but if you want to hire some marketing agency or somebody like that to reach out to more people, we would need funds. So if you can donate, please donate to Jeevit Nadi for PRR, because PRR is not not an NGO as such. So we are a group of NGOs and individuals. So you can uh, donate to Jeevit Nadi for PRR, and for that you can contact Sanjeev. So these are the basic things we can do. We can also write to PMC, PCMC, CM, PM, and many more agencies. We are trying to come up with a list of email IDs where we can contact, and we will publish that soon on all our social media handles. Do follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Is there anything else, Priyadarshini?
Not from my side. You covered everything. So, and we are, I think,
Great.
coming
So
to the end.
I think when I started this webinar, I was so much into these before and current pictures of the work that is going on. I did not even wish anybody Happy New Year. So Happy New Year, and let's hope that we get a better year, which is clean, green, and let's hope that we will be able to save more trees, and we'll be able to save our rivers.
Some two more messages are there, Prajakta, if you will quickly run through.
What is it about? No, I couldn't see that.
Aarti is saying, if the work is happening at such high space, would like to know ways to stop.
That. Other means may take time. Probably fastest will be gathering. That is true. So the fastest is to gather in large numbers and reach out to politicians and journalists. That is what we are doing. So to reach out to more people, as I said, that if you could network or connect us with any celebrities, or if we can raise funds wherein we can hire a marketing agency, that's the best thing. Will you speak to other group online? Kutla group?
I think what Rikata is saying is the other concerned groups who organize similar online events, would PRR be interested in sharing?
Okay, can we present to the other groups and explain this thing, what we did here? Why not? The first thing we can do definitely is to share this YouTube link, because we will be uploading this on YouTube. But other than this, if there are any question answers, we would be happy to take that.
Online or offline, whatever
Right.
works.
Right. तुलाच उद्यापासून शेड्यूल होणार आहे बरं का, तू ऑफलाईन म्हणतेस, सांगते तुला.
बाकीचे लोक आहेत की मीच असायला पाहिजे असं.
बरोबर. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining, and hoping to see you on Sundays, and hoping to see you in more events and in our final Satyagraha protest, whatever we plan. So thank you. Good night.